Indonesia has over 17,000 islands, and some of the most authentic ones remain almost untouched. This is Sumbawa, a place many call the true Indonesia, raw, remote, and far from mass tourism. Empty beaches, coral-grown islands, jungle farms, and powerful stories, all waiting in a place the world has mostly overlooked. Welcome to the jungle, welcome to Sumbawa. When people say Lombok is like Bali 20 years ago, I think it's safe to say that Sumbawa is like Lombok 20 years ago. This is a very authentic side of Indonesia because there's not so much tourism coming to this island. The experience that you can have here is still very pure. And before we dive into this episode, let me give you a brief overview of this island. If you travel east from Bali past Lombok, you will eventually reach the island of Sumbawa, stretched out between the tourist hubs and mostly left off the typical travel route. It's part of the West Nusa Tenggara province, together with the neighboring island of Lombok, though there have been talks about turning Sumbawa into a separate province in the future. The island is split into two main regions. West Sumbawa, where this trip takes place, with its capital Sumbawa Besar, and East Sumbawa, centered around the port city of Bima. Interestingly, when locals talk about Sumbawa, they are usually referring only to the western part. To get there, I rented a scooter in Kuta, Lombok, and rode all the way up to the ferry terminal. The short boat ride took me across the strait to Poto Tano, the western gateway to the island. There's also a small airport near Sumbawa Besar, but flight connections are limited. What makes this island stand out is its contrast. Remote beaches, forested hills, deeply rooted traditions, and very little tourism infrastructure. Just the way I like it. Alright. This episode is gonna be about the western part of Sumbawa. I'm here close to a city called Alas. This place is called Marente, and I'm in a homestay here. But this is not only a homestay, it's also a farm attached to it, and food plays a major role in this homestay. You get the full cultural experience of Sumbawa if you stay here. But before we dive into this part, let me show you where I stay. It's a bit basic, but the family, the food, and everything around it is completely 5 stars. So this is my own little house here actually. The host family lives over there, and as you can see, we're surrounded by water. There's like a pond where there's actually fish living there, which is part of the meals here. Like you have a lot of fish here, more ponds, and then there in the background, you can hear it, is a big river, and that river is fed also by a big waterfall, something we're gonna check out also later. Very basic, but everything that you need, bed, and there's even an AC, very essential, especially when you come here in dry season. And then I even have my own bathroom. So we have this little door here. Let's open this. And then you go outside. Then you can have a peek over to the side to see the ponds, and then here's the bathroom. Throne, shower, and even hot water. Alright, and the special thing about this homestay is actually, or one very important thing, is the food. So Robbie just brought me my dinner here to my bungalow. So Robbie, what are we having?
We cook some special. The first one is chicken with tamarind sauce. This is the moringa leaf. Yeah, if you search in Google, Moringa is one of superfood. Chicken grill with tamarind sauce. We always combine like moringa with the chicken grill with tamarind.
So you eat this like a salad?
This like a soup.
I like a soup.
Yeah.
Okay. The leaves are very tasty. Tastes really fresh. Really interesting combination. Very delicious. And I also asked for dessert. And then they made me some pisang goreng, which is actually fried banana, and he will bring some chocolate sauce and fresh dragon juice he's just preparing right now. Wow, incredible, this homestay. Okay, good morning. We are on a little expedition with Yek and his son. He's my guide today. Doesn't speak much English, but we can manage with hands and feet somehow. He's gonna take me through the jungle to a waterfall called Agal. So we gotta cross the river a few times, but I have my shoes here. They are all terrain. So let's see how this adventure goes. Apparently it's like a 2-hour hike to get there. And right now it's sunny, so we're gonna do that in the morning when the water is not that high. As soon as it starts raining, the water levels are rising. It's gonna be harder to cross the rivers. This truly is a jungle expedition here. It's quite a dense forest, so I'm happy that I have Yek with me with his big machete to go and find a waterfall. I think you can do that by yourself, but it's a bit tricky. Not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. And there's absolutely nobody here, so we're completely by ourselves here. Whew. You hear the water roaring, so I'll probably cross the river again very soon. Jack is cutting a liana over there. I think this might be our little pit stop here. You want? Like Coca-Cola? Yeah. Where they said like, yeah, it's gonna be an easy hike, just 1.5 hours. Actually climbing up these kind of trails. Oh, never a dull moment, it's always an adventure. Whoa, I can already see the curtain of water here through the trees of the jungle. Wow, this is huge. Agal Waterfall just there. Wow, this is insane. Okay, let me introduce you to my host here in the homestay. This is Robbie. And Robbie is not only the host of my homestay, he's also way more than this, because he is a studied biologist.
Batu is not just homestay, but here we have a cafe for make a traditional food of Sumbawa, and also we plant our food here. So almost all the food in our homestay and in our cafe come from our garden. Batu is mean like a small place which can help many people.
I would say we have a little look in your little. It's not only a garden. It's like a little farm.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stroll a little bit around, and he's gonna show us a little bit of the plants. And this is exactly what you can do if you come to Sumbawa.
Yeah.
You can stay here, but you can also come just for coffee, just to try out the food, which is amazing, and all the local produce that Robbie and his family are actually growing here. Because it's not only Robbie, it's also his father. So this goes on from generations, and this is true Sumbawa culture.
Yeah.
So let's have a look around.
Agriculture. So that's why we already plant some fruit tree, have a banana, have a guava, and then have a cassava, have a big tree for...
Robbie's farm isn't just a garden, it's a lifeline nestled right at the edge of the Alas jungle and by the river banks, offering the perfect microclimate to grow a wide variety of traditional fruits, herbs and leafy greens that have been largely forgotten. In West Sumbawa and across West Nusa Tenggara more broadly, agriculture is the backbone of rural life. Yet reliance on monocultures like corn or rice makes communities highly vulnerable. When harvests fail, the risk of food shortages and even starvation rises sharply, conditions that sadly still recur today. Development indicators paint a challenging picture. Even though the province has increased rice productivity over decades, about 20% of villages in West Nusa Tenggara remain in the priority category for food insecurity. In West Sumbawa, climate-driven damage to staple crops like corn has reached over 40% in some years. What Robbie is doing with his farm-to-table vision is vital. He's reviving neglected local plants, providing education alongside food, and reintroducing biodiversity into diets. It's a local, sustainable response to a system that, left unchecked, leaves people exposed. Walking these paths with Robbie, you can see how rich the solutions already are. Right next to my bungalow, but also on my dinner plate.
While we were in the jungle today, going to the waterfall, we were actually getting, or Yek was getting with his son on the way, some rattan. And with this rattan, oh look, Mickey's here as well. Robbie's wife was cooking up a storm. So what exactly are we having for dinner tonight?
Okay, tonight we have rattan soup with the big fish fried with tamarind.
So good. And so flavorful. Like everything they do here has a lot of flavors. It's so rich. Wow. Sumbawa really surprised me in matters of food. I thought it's really basic, but actually the variety in fruits, vegetables, dishes here is incredible. Okay, good morning. We are about to go on the bike of Robbie.
Yeah.
We're going to Alas.
Yeah,
We're going to the market, and then where did we go afterwards?
Go to Bungin Island.
Bungin Island.
Yeah.
It's a very special island.
Yeah.
So let's go on a little road trip.
After a short ride on the back of Robbie's scooter, we arrived at the local market, which was very busy. Here we got some missing ingredients for tonight's dinner and some supplies for Robbie's cafe, before moving on to Bungin Island.
Okay, we are now in Bungin Island.
Yeah.
So what is the special thing about Bungin Island?
So all the people here is a fisherman. They live with taking fish in the oceans, like, and they sell to the market.
And the houses here, they are, first of all, they're built here on the island, but they grow more and more, right?
Yes. First they grow with the dye coral. And yes.
So they put like that coral in order to extend the land.
Yeah. They make a new house with the dye coral.
Bungin Island is home to around 3,400 people living on less than 9 hectares of land, making it one of the most densely populated islands in the world. The island is mostly inhabited by the Bajo people from South Sulawesi, who arrived here more than 200 years ago. Over centuries, they have expanded the island by collecting dead coral from the reef, creating solid ground for houses, roads and markets.
So if you come here, you should definitely try spicy coffee. Good morning. After enjoying another good morning coffee, it is now time to learn how this coffee is made. So what we're about to do?
Yeah, we wanna visit some grandma, our grandma, because she now wanna roast the traditional coffee. We call it mixed coffee. With ginger, cloves, wild chili and some ingredients too.
Okay, so we're gonna check out how the specific Sumbawa coffee is being produced. So let's see where the coffee is growing, and it's actually in the jungle. That's why it's the jungle coffee. So we first need to cross the river here. So this is a true adventure actually to get to the coffee here. But this is also what makes it so good, because it's like naturally growing in the jungle, no fertilizer, so everything is super organic. So let's find the coffee.
These coffee plants aren't part of a plantation. They grow wild here in the jungle, just a short walk from Robbies' farm. No fertilizer, no chemicals, just coffee as nature intended. After harvesting, the beans make their way to kitchens like this one, where local grandmothers roast them with ginger, cloves, and even a hint of wild chili. The recipe is as old as the village itself. For many of these women, this work means more than just keeping a tradition alive. They've spent their lives tending rice fields, grueling work that's no longer possible for them because of age, health, or injury. With little or no access to pension systems, in Indonesia fewer than 1 in 8 elderly people receive any regular pension, Robbies' Sumbawa Jungle Coffee Project offers them not just an income, but inclusion. Robbie pays far above the usual market rate. It's his own version of fair trade, local, sustainable and rooted in respect for the people who make it possible. In a place where opportunities can be scarce, especially for the elderly, this small-scale coffee project offers both dignity and a livelihood, one cup at a time.
Very good, especially with this view here. Amazing. Look.
Next, we hopped on Robbie's scooter again to head in the direction of Poto Tano in order to do a little island tour.
For this, I came here with Robbie to meet his friend who has a boat, and then we're gonna hop on 3 different islands. Over there, you see the ferries that go to Lombok or coming from Lombok, and now we are ready to go. Arrived to the first island. Very shallow waters here. We're in the mangroves. Look down here. So the first island is Kambing Island, which means goat. Because back in the days, what Robbie told me, they used to bring the goats here so they can eat the grass. And if you look at the island, it's easy to manage the goats because it's not big, so they can basically go up here, eat the grass, and you know, goats, they really like climbing. And now we are the goats, right, Robbie?
The goat island.
Yeah, we are the goats from Sumbawa. We're now climbing. Ay, ay, ay. It's pretty hot actually. I cannot even imagine how it is in dry season. It must be super hot. Oh, so we climbed all the way up. And now we can actually see the next island we're going to. What is the next island called?
Paserang Island.
Paserang Island. It's the one with the little bungalows you see in the back, and there's also the ferry that actually goes from Lombok to Sumbawa. And here you can actually see Lombok. You see the big cloud? That is actually Rinjani hiding there in the cloud, but it looks like it's clearing up a little bit. Maybe later on we can see Rinjani. And the water here is just so clear. You can see the whole reef down here, and over there you see West Sumbawa. Okay, now we are on Pasarang, Pulau Pasarang.
Yeah.
And here actually we can find some bungalows, huh?
Yeah.
So this is for staying?
Yes, for staying.
Okay, but it's not cheap. I've just
Yeah,
heard. Like the
it's-
price is like more than 100 euros a
Yes.
night, 130 euros a night for one of those here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful island, beautiful beach, but I'm not sure if I would pay that money to stay here. I'd rather stay at Robbies.
Yeah.
And then come with the boat.
Yeah.
Island number 3 is called Kanawa Island. And on this island you also have a little hill. It is right now super green. Another good reason to come in the rainy season is that you have all these islands, all the landscape be way more green, and it looks really nice. Looks a little bit like the Teletubby Hills. Look at this Teletubby here, Robbie the Teletubby. Alright, we made it up on top of Kanawa Island. See? That's the beautiful green island you see now. Over there actually, you could see where the clouds are actually. This is where the big volcano of Sumbawa is actually located. It's Tambora. But rarely you can see that in the rainy season. Over there is the port, Porto Tanu, where I arrived. And if you look onto the other side, whoopa, you see Lombok, you see Robbie, and you see the two islands we've just been to before. What a beautiful spot.
Are you planning your own trip to Indonesia, and are you keen to experience it like I did? I put together an all-in-one ebook packed with my personal tips, insider recommendations, and all the places I show in my videos and beyond. This Indonesia travel planning kit now includes detailed itineraries for Java, Bali, Lombok, Flores, as well as the Nusa Islands, plus my full route through Sumbawa, complete with all the accommodations, restaurants, sites and activities I recommend. You will also find contacts for trusted drivers, guides and scooter rentals I personally used during my trips. This kit will save you hours of research and make planning your Indonesia adventure using my first-hand experience so much easier. Make sure to use the discount code and save 10%. As we are riding back from our island tour, Robbie suggests to check out the street vendors after freshening up at the homestay, since it is Ramadan. West Nusa Tenggara, the province that includes this island, is overwhelmingly Muslim, with roughly 97% of the population practicing Islam. On Sumbawa itself, the Samawa people, who live primarily in the west, follow Sunni Islam, blending faith with a layer of tradition and belief in spirits that's still very much alive.
Alright, it is Ramadan, so we're out and about just before sunset, because this is when you can find all the good food. So it's actually a good time to travel. So let's see what we can find. Alright, Robbie? Robbie is my guide, always. Robbie's always my guide in Alas.
Yeah. Ramadan isn't just a fast, it's a rhythm shared across communities. These narrow streets come to life just before sunset, as vendors line up with an incredible variety of snacks and dishes. Local specialties crafted specifically for breaking the fast. And then, just after sunset, I joined Robbie and his family for dinner.
Okay, my time here comes to close. I have to say goodbye to Robbie, and he also got some coffee for me to take home. And now it's time I go to Kertasari, to the beach.
Yes, to the beach.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming to...
So, should definitely come meet Robbie, have some amazing food, stay here and enjoy the jungle. But now on to the next one.
Leaving Alas behind, the road follows the northern coastline before curving south along the rugged northwest coast of Sumbawa. It's a roughly 50-kilometer ride through small fishing villages, hills and endless ocean views. The kind of road that makes you slow down just to take it all in. Ahead lies Kertasari Bay, a remote corner of West Sumbawa that few travelers ever reach.
If we talk about Sumbawa, we talk about a hidden gem within Indonesia. And now I want to introduce you a hidden gem within the hidden gem, which is called Kertasari.
Kertasari is located on the northwest coast of Sumbawa, about an hour's drive from the port of Pototano. The bay stretches for several kilometers, framed by green hills and coral reefs that protect its calm turquoise waters. For generations, this is a seaweed farming community. The calm, shallow bay provides ideal conditions for drying and harvesting seaweed. In recent years, though, a few travelers have started to discover the area's other treasures. Long, empty beaches and a sense of peace that's hard to find elsewhere in Indonesia. With the new Sumbawa airport set to open nearby, that might soon start to change.
This is one of the reasons why you should come to Kertasari, because you have a bunch of secluded beaches, no people, beautiful crystal clear water, and the landscape around is just incredible. And on top of that, you have a lot of really good accommodation options here as well. So I want to show you a few options, because I stay in altogether 3 different places, because I spent overall more than a week here. First place I want to show you is the budget option. A guest house, very basic, but its location is just incredible. You can hear it already, I'm right by the beach. Look at that. So you can sit here, enjoy the beach, read a book. Alright, so here is the room. As you can see, bed, no AC, but we have a ventilator. And the whole house is made of bamboo, so these walls here are paper thin. That's a little bit of a downside when you're in a place that is like so open. Of course you have some insects here and there. And I'm sharing the bathroom with the other room, it's right here. So here we go. That is the spa area. Shower, toilet, and then you need to use this bucket in order to flush. Yeah, well, not luxury, that's for sure. But for just a little bit more money, you can have an even better package.
I'm referring to the beautiful wooden bungalows at Bukit Samudra, where I spent most of my time in Kertasari.
My name is Julian, I'm main director of Bukit Samudra Resort. The idea was to build something like sustainable. We just use the airflow just to cool down the place, and it works. All the materials and workers are from here, from West Sumbawa.
So these are the bungalows, and this is my bungalow here. So you have a water dispenser here, a little outside seating area, and then you come in here, and that is my room. And as you can see, it's like an open architecture. You have this like teak walls which are open, very airy. On top of that you have a fan that you can also put way higher than what I have now. You have a mosquito net, and you can actually also open these windows here, so you have a view to the garden. So in the evening when it's too hot, You get a little bit more air inside. And here is the bathroom. It's also very modern and open. Nice shower, sink, products as well. Really good package.
And just a bit more south we can find Pantai Salufi. Small beach next to Big Rock, but also here, completely by myself. Beautiful beach for sunset. Next one is Pantai Gili Karata. This is Gili Karata, and in low tide you can actually walk over to this island, I've heard. Then there is of course Kertasari beach. The beautiful thing about this beach is that because of the reef that you have outside, here on the inside the water is very calm. So this is very nice for swimming and for snorkeling as well. You can snorkel at a lot of spots here along the coast. Just rent some goggles and then go to the reef and you will see a lot of beautiful marine life here.
Super early start today. I woke up at 5 to go on a little sunrise mission, and even so it's not sunrise anymore because Google sent me different ways which are not really roads to come up here, but I made it to a viewpoint high up on a mountain called Bukit Mantar, and it's incredible. Look at that. Incredible view here, and you can actually see the tip of Mount Rinjani, the volcano of Lombok over there in the distance. It's just, you just only see the shape because it's very hazy today. Over there is the port, see where the boats are, and there are also the islands that I visited the other day. And if you look over here, you see that we are above the clouds.
Then it was back to Kertasari to fuel up for the next adventure.
Alright, it is past midday, so the sun is not that strong anymore, so time to go check out another waterfall, which is a little bit further south from Kertasari. It was quite a ride, especially the last bit can be a little bit tricky to find. But if you ask locals, you can find your way actually. And then it's a beautiful drive through the rice fields to come up here, over little roads through the forests, and then you get to this waterfall called Kalela. Just a very short hike through the jungle. So you park and then it's like just a 10-minute walk. Let's see. Woo! I have to say, this waterfall exceeds my expectations. It's so cool, look at that. Woo.
After a little swim in the waterfall, the road back to Kertasari feels even more peaceful. Over the past days I've shown you places to stay for different budgets, from simple beach huts to cozy mid-range stays. Now it's time to end the day in a bit more comfort.
The luxury option, so I booked myself into the Kertasari lodge. Luxury, but still very affordable if you compare it to European standards. So let me show you around.
So this is the room. As you can see, it is very spacious. We have AC, big bed, loads of space to put our stuff over there, even a little safe. And then if you go over here, you can see that I also have a very big working desk and really good Wi-Fi because they have Starlink here. So this is really rare in this area. So if you want to work, this is the place to go. And if you come over here, this is where the bathroom is, toilet. And here's the shower, all the products included as well. That's pretty nice. Of course, while you work and when you wake up, you have this incredible view over there. Wow, straight to the beach, to the waves. And as you can see, there's also an outside area. So that is my private balcony. Let's have a look.
Here it is all about the views because the whole property is located on a little hill. That's why you have this beautiful view to the beach. And the highlight is the restaurant.
But the best thing is the pool.
Alright, bike is all packed up. Time to leave Kertasari and head south to Sekongkang. The road from Kertasari down to Sekongkang cuts through one of the most remote stretches of West Sumbawa. It's a beautiful ride. Open coastline, forest and small villages. But it also leads straight into the heart of the island's mining region. For decades, the Batu Hijau mine has been one of Sumbawa's and Indonesia's biggest economic drivers, producing copper and gold and bringing jobs and infrastructure into this corner of the country. But the benefits come with real challenges. Environmental groups have raised concerns about tailings disposal, pressure on coastal ecosystems and the long-term impact on fishing communities nearby. Others worry about how quickly social and economic change has reshaped local life, especially in villages closest to the mining sites. As I make my way toward the southwest peninsula, the landscape opens again. The sea comes back into view, and Sekongkang reveals a completely different side of Sumbawa. And that's where I'm heading now. To the surf bungalows of Balong Balong, before exploring the beaches and the waves that put this quiet stretch of coastline on the map.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. AC finally. Welcome to the tourist hotspot of Sumbawa. This will be my home for the next 6 nights. So I'm staying right in front of Yoyo's, right in front of the surf break here. As far as I could see, this place, this bungalow village here, is really nice. It's also a bit more pricey than those kind of places in Indonesia. So pay around 33 euros per night. But yeah, so far it looks good. It has its own restaurant as well. Let me show you my room.
As you can see, I have, of course, a bed, a place where I can put all my clothes, working desk. I have an own water dispenser. I even have coffee. I have a kettle, as you see, and I do have a fridge, which is really good, full of dragon fruit, bananas, and some chocolate bars. And then, if you go over here, actually, you can see through the window, you can actually see the surf break here. So let's zoom in. There it is. So I can wake up in the morning, check the waves. Okay, and then you have this beautiful view to the garden, which we get to soon. Then you come in here
shower, the sink and the toilet. And then what I love most about the place is the location, of course. So let's get outside. Opa. So here's my little balcony terrace area. That's where my surfboard is, and my stuff is drying over there in the back. And then you come out here. Look at this place. Wow. And over there is the restaurant where you can get all meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. They have great breakfast options, eggs benedict, smoothie bowls, all sorts of dishes, tacos, sushi, local Indonesian cuisine. And then you come over here. Look at that place. How cool is that, eh? Pretty sweet. What a beautiful morning that is. So I'm gonna use the chance today to show you all the surfing spots because my board is actually getting fixed right now after I surfed it twice yesterday. I have a little ding, so I get the board fixed and use the chance to show you all the surf spots here in the south. This is what all the people are coming here for. As stated, here at Balong Balong, I'm staying right in front of Yoyo's. But Tropicals is only 3 minutes away. So we're gonna head there and see if we can find people surfing there. Tourism in this part of Sumbawa looks very different from the rest of Indonesia. There are no big resorts, no beach clubs and no crowds. Just a handful of small guest houses and surf camps spread across the base. What brings people here is the coastline itself, which draws surfers from all over the world. Not in huge numbers like on Bali, but enough to shape the rhythm of life in the villages nearby.
So the first spot is called Tropicals. It's a left-hander wave, which you can see over there. And here's the reason for its name. It's right next to the jungle. And when you're surfing, you're looking onto this lush landscape. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Here I am at Yoyo's, and as always, this is a pretty big bay, so of course there's more than just one surf spot. But right now it's only this one that seems to work. The bay is beautiful. If you look at those surroundings here, this is just simply stunning. And here on the hill, there's some pretty fancy places to stay at actually. On the other side of Yoyo's, you can find the most beautiful beach in the whole area called Pantai Lawar. Look at that, so nice. There's just a resort here, but nothing else. So this whole beach is completely empty. This is Maluk Bay, and right behind me you see a lot of scooters, motorbikes with surf racks but without surfboards. That means only one thing. There is a popular surf spot here. It is called Supersuck. It's right over there. So let's have a look if we can capture some people getting waves. So the swell isn't as big as forecasted.
There's still quite a few people out there. Seems to be a really nice left-hander actually. Then you have a few other spots apparently here in this bay. But as always, if you're here for the first time, get a local surf instructor, a local surf guide to show you the spots and to go with you to the best spots for your abilities for the time you're here.
For many families, surfing has quietly become an important source of income. A few rooms to rent, small warungs, or a surf school. Simple things that help the local economy grow alongside, not against the landscape. Even though this area becomes more and more popular within the surfing community, out here tourism remains small-scale and community-based compared to the tourism hotspots on Bali. And that's exactly what makes this corner of Sumbawa feel so special.
Welcome to Pantai Lawar. This is the stage for one of the most popular surf spots in all of Sumbawa called Reef, which is located right over there. And if it's a little bit more clear, you can even see Rinjani from here.
Now, after watching others catch waves, it was time for me to get into the water.
So as you can see, West Sumbawa is about to surf, but not only about to surf. So if you come here, make sure to have a good mix of things to do in order to get an idea of what this island is all about. Best actually to combine it with other islands, for example with Lombok, which I made a documentary about right here. See you in the next one.